The single story definitely impacts the perceptions we create about others, in this case, being the minorities. We tend to stereotype people from the stories we heard from others. Therefore, I think it's important to develop our own criteria about those people or things we don't know. Personally, I do not like when people try to make me have a perspective of something that I have not seen from myself. We must reject those stereotypes that already exist, but also those that we have of ourselves. When I was younger, I used to let myself be influenced by the comments people made about others. If someone told me something bad about someone that I have not even met before, I used to treat them differently because of the previous things I heard about them. However, as I grew up and life shaped me, I realized that it's extremely important in order to keep my essence, to create my own perspective and ideas of how things are and work. Sadly, we are living in a society with social media and politics have a huge impact on manipulating and convincing people about how minorities are. I live in Hawaii for 3 years. As you know, the largest ethnic groups living in Hawaii are Japanese, Chinese, and Koreans. As a Mexican that lived her whole life in Mexico, I created a stereotype about Asian people. A lot of the people around me spoke badly about them as selfish and cheap. When I had the opportunity to have Asian friends, I felt ashamed of the way one day I thought about them. I discovered for myself that Asian people are some of the nicest people I have ever known. They are kind, respectful, and shareable. I also used to be ashamed of my accent because in El Paso, I have been embarrassed by it several times. But living in Hawaii allowed me to see that everyone has an accent. It did not matter where they were from, where they came from. Their culture and their accent is what makes them special and unique. And the readings from week 2, I read that Mexican American students are not the only students facing discrimination because of their native language. Chinese are also affected. So when I hang out with my Chinese friends, I feel very identified with them. However, I think Asian people have a quality that us Latino, we don't have. When they talk, they think as we must understand what they are saying. And when Latino talk and people, they don't understand what they are saying, we feel ashamed and we don't want to try it again. At least that's how I have felt many times in my life. So I think this is very important to keep in mind, that we should not judge people based on what we have heard from somebody else without seeing it from ourselves. It is important to create our own single story to avoid stereotyping and all kinds of racisms.